Hey, hello everyone. So today we gonna start push notification, and this video will be not that long. I will try to complete each and everything which is there in push notification in a very small duration of time, and for that I already have been written all these codes, and I will explain you what we are doing there. And for this we can test our push notification in simulator and a real device. For real device, for sure you required Apple developer account and all, and if you don't have that, nothing to worry about. We are testing it in a simulator while without having any Apple accounts and all. So let's get started. Let me run this code first to show how the push notification work in my simulator. So you can see that I just created a dummy push notification for my simulator. Now we will start our push notification code. I will explain you what I have written line by line in the code, and you can directly use this code in your production ready app and you are good to go. So let's get started. So first of all, our push notification, as we know, it is not there in SwiftUI. So we required our UI kit and with NS object and user notification. And with user notification, the first and most prior thing what we have to do is you have to set our delegate method, and after setting the delegate method, now we have to register our notification. So to register our notification, what we are doing here is, first of all, I created two classes. Here you can see one is our app delegate that we will have for sure, and the notification manager. In notification manager, this is responsible for the operations which comes under clean code practices of our push notifications, like adding the data or or registering the notification, adding the data in our Swift data, and then creating a dummy test notification which we can see in our local simulator, just what we did before. So that notification manager I created as um, you can see I created a class of notification manager here. Here I am having a variable. You can have it as has permission, means it will change the value from true to false if the permission is granted or it has not been given on the basis of the status, and then it is returning it, and every time it is checking the status of the permission of our push notification. Here directly we are registering our notification with alert, badge and sound, and then if it is a success, then we are good to go. Otherwise we will get a error. Now coming back to our app delegate. In our app delegate, we first of all created a object of our net notification manager, which is this class, so that we can access all those functions which are there for storing the data. This function, we are saving the data in our uh, local Swift data, and then from there, so that we can use it to show it in our views as per our requirement. Although we don't require such things, but for a sake, I did that so that you can get a better understanding how to store the data of the push notification which we are getting, and then we how we can show it on our view if it is required. Uh, this is uh, this is nothing but it is just checking, and on the basis of the existence of the variable, we are just setting the values and user IDs with the event type and then the message for the push notification, what message we are getting it from the backend, and then we are directly inserting it in our data layer, and through data layer we will have it in our, which will be stored in our local, and from there we will have it in our view entity, and then from view entity we will good to have it in our views. Now coming upon for the manually showing, let's come to this function. This function is what we are having it for showing our push notification in our local, and as we are showing it in our local means simulator. So uh, for this, first of all we have to generate our own push notification, means there we are not having any token and all, and it is not getting it from the backend for and for sure. So the first of all we just check the permission, okay, this status is true or not of this hash value has permission. Then then we are setting up payload, means we are giving our own payload for our simulator to test our push notification in our simulator. So here nothing, just we use this uh, UN a notification, and the the use of this is mutable is to generate a notification for the particularly to our simulators. Now coming upon, we just set a text, title, body of that, the body what you are gonna get, and then the events and the message. So uh, by setting these values, now you will understand how your payload gonna look like. So this is the way your payload gonna look like, means your title will be the test, and then whatever the body you have set there, and the message and all will be shown there. Now here we are checking up the trigger events, how when your push notification gonna trigger in the simulator. So I have given 2 seconds as our timestamp. Soon you're gonna click, just you click there, let me open my simulator, click on this test button, within 2 seconds this alert will be shown to you. So you can see this alert with the test and the value which the body already have, I have set there. Now nothing, just I added whatever the notification I have just created above, I just added it in our user notification center dot add. We can, when you, let's go deep down inside this what add will do. So there are multiple functions which push notifications provide, like you have to remove your notification, you have to add in your notification with the completion handlers and all, notification settings, and um, so and so forth. Yeah, so now coming back to the app delegate. Here first you set the delegate. After setting the delegate, what I'm doing here is just checking the registered notification, means the first part is to register your notification. Now after registering the notification, now I created a background notification, and in the background notification whatever whatever the values which our payload is getting from the uh, from the backend, we are directly storing it in our database here and updating our database. Now there comes the very important part. If you have a device token, and the very core of it is when the push notification got created, and then the being triggered very first, then APNS will create a token, and that token we require to send to our backend. If you want to send it to backend for the communication and all, and for those things we we required to save it somewhere, right? So for saving those tokens and all, what we did is like we created you can say user defaults, and I'm saving the token what got generated by APNS in our user default, and then I can use this user default values. I can use this user default token value to transfer it to the backend. This you can do it with your network manager and all. You can create a means the backend will give you something like you can, let's have an idea of some APIs which is quite kind of a put notification post method or something like that, where you have to post the token or bundle ID of that app and all. There are multiple things, the way a backend is designed to it, and they require your token, so you can forward it from here. You also can create it in another folder to make it as more clean after storing it here instead of the thing which I commented down there. Now coming upon, this is a failure case of APNS token generation. If it got any chance it got remote notification as failure, then it will trigger a error, and that will be seen in your console. And you can even have a fatal error and all, which leads to the crash. I surely avoid such things of crashing and all, but fatal error is for and for sure being taken care, being considered for a production level wise uh, 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 code, I believe. Now coming upon the type of events which we gonna have it for our push notification, means when your app is in foreground or even it is in background or in kill state, then our main focus of this our app is like whatever the notification which we are pushing for our app, that should be displayed in our devices. So foreground is when your app is live, means it is in active state. Then you will have this function which is will present function. In will present function will give your app as notification when your app is in foreground state, and then we are just setting it to the sorry, so now we are setting it to this, means the kind of how your notification looks like. It should be band, means sound will be there, badge will be there, and everything. These things you can that's how your notification will appear. The most important thing what we are doing here is the event, that payload which got created, we have to save this payload in our uh, Swift data, or in Swift data, or if you want to store, you can store it in core data also. It's up to you where you are having a data base to store it. Now coming upon here in this function, just we are getting our payload, then we are checking the UIDs and all, and after checking that, it we 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 are checking like there shouldn't be the duplicate uh, means duplicate values in our Swift data while we are storing it. If the IDs are matching, then we will not gonna store it. We will just simply return from there. Otherwise, we will go for storing the data in our database and inserting it. You can see here, this is a data layer that I already explain it in my previous videos, how how to design a data layer for a project with Swift data. So basically I added my Swift data layer to my Swift data manager as so. This is our actor for all the data operation of model context, like inserting, getting the data, or replacing all the data, inserting a particular data, deleting all the data, or checking the existing data if it is there or not. These are the functions we have for all those operations. Now, coming on, yeah. So previously, what I was doing, just see this commented line of code as basically I was directly storing it in my database, although the data is already been stored. The payload means already being stored, which will create a duplication or duplicate data, means duplicate payload in our Swift database. So to avoid that, here we are checking it with I created a new function exists, which used to check if the data is there before. If it is there, then it will avoid to store that. Otherwise, we will store it on our database. And this I already explained you how to use this function for our simulator and all. Same we are doing for the background notification. We are storing it on our database with same function. Why the most important part is why we segregated our network manager, sorry, notification manager and app delegate. The operation our app delegate should only perform the operations which are for and for sure required for our notifications, and avoiding of the business logics and storing and doing the handling parts of your uh, I can say notifications, uh, like navigation and storing it in database and checking it for registered and all these things we handle it in our notification manager, and this will help us to have more, you can say, help us to improve clean code practices. Here in this if this class, you can even have objects of different networks and all if you have APIs and all which you want to have for passing it directly to the backend from there instead of storing and all, so you can do it here. uh, Soon you get the device APNS token and all, and which comes which segregate basically segregate the uh, app delegate and the notification manager on the basis of their in totally on the basis of their work. Now coming upon the display part. Now here I we can only test we can only just test our uh, in our simulators, as currently I don't have my Apple account, developer account, so that is the problem here. So what I'm doing basically is on click of the button I'm triggering my test notifications. Now this load function will help us to show all the details which are there in our Swift data. Now coming upon here, this is my view entity. I created my view entity and I am storing the data from data entity to view entity for my notifications, and just mapping the data from data entity to view entity, nothing much here in my load function. And in my test notification, I'm just directly calling my uh, test notification, which will have these values as the payloads, and we can good to go with our simulator test sting. And here comes the very important part you have to do is like when you are starting, means you are doing the push notification, first you have to add it in in your add it here, just go capabilities and just search for push notification here, and then you have to add it directly and it is done. As as you are checking it in a simulator, so soon you will build the app. It will generate this file which basically giving you information as you are testing it for the simulator, as you don't have Apple developer account. Now let me run the app. Yeah, here we go. And, and you got that notification as the app is in your foreground state. Now, how I am storing it in database, that is one thing. I created a model. This is my data model, and then I am converting it from data entity to view entity. Whatever the data which got stored in our data layer got transferred from data to view entity. And here's my view entity. Let me show you my view entity. Yes, yes. So basically, this is my view entity, and then I use this view entity to have it in my view model, and through this view model, I'm directly showing it in my views. The requirement means what are the required field you want to show it in your views. Basically, to be honest, we never we never required such um, view entities or notification to be stored in Swift data. To be honest, just you have a notification, you just generate a notification, and the token you got, you just uh, give it to your backend for your particular events and all. uh, that is the most important thing which is there in post notification, as token is the key part amongst between the bridge. It's a kind of a bridge between your services and APNs and your app. We use the same token, and the token which your app to your particular devices will be given to the services. It can be a cloud or whatever the third parties you are using it for, and uh, then on the basis of that they will generate the messages, the kind of notifications payload the backend will generate, and then they will give it to you, and on the basis of that you will show it in your particular views, means in your app. So if you find this video a bit informative, then you can follow me, support me. uh, I used to upload lot of contents in upcoming days, and that will be for sure totally uh, production level wise code. I believe I saw people uploading because I know how it feels. uh, there are great videos I found it in YouTube, and but it was not that much deeply explained in terms of production ready code. It was like a topic wise videos are there, which which requires some what, like you can say, understanding and all, and for going to the production level. And then I thought of sharing my own knowledge to how we integrate all those things together with the data layer and all, with clean architect, to make the entire project as a production level wise project. And then if you have a account, developer account and anything, and you can go to the cloud, and that's it. In upcoming videos I will explain you about SSL pinnings, authentication tokens, and everything. So Stay tuned and do support me, like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye. Cheers.